So, how many teas do you guys like? Is there other like my favorite is peppermint, but sometimes I'll do like a ginger tea. And
See, I
y'all need
can
to try
do
this pure leaf
no. See, listen.
sweet
Ginger
tea.
tea is good, but the last time I had anything ginger, it like flared up and burned my nostrils. I don't know what happened.
That's what it's supposed to do. That's supposed to
That's it.
burn
It's
your
supposed
It,
to
it
throat.
cleaned me
detox.
out, and I
Yeah.
did not see that coming. I really did not.
It's supposed to
It's supposed
burn
to
everything
detox.
so that you don't get sick. You can just
Yo,
burn
that is the
everything.
secret to
Yeah.
coronavirus is ginger.
Yes.
I'm sure it is.
Sure.
Hey guys, welcome to our podcast where we watch all of the Marvel movies in the MCU. And what we do as a quarantine project is we come together and we video chat and we talk about it, discuss it, what we liked, what we didn't like, and we come together as friends. Growing up with these movies, it's been an awesome journey. So we wanted to recapture some of that in this time during COVID-19. And so my name is Rob, and with me are a few of my friends.
Ronaldi.
Elise.
Shawnette.
And I'm Fergie.
And today we're going to talk about Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
Steve Rogers has become a SHIELD agent after the events of New York where Loki tried to take over Earth. Steve Rogers joins SHIELD to find a sense of purpose and to contribute to the betterment of mankind, but he finds that things in SHIELD are more confusing than they were during World War II. He doesn't know who to trust or who to rely upon in an agency where everyone keeps secrets. Things get even worse when Nick Fury is assassinated and Steve is framed as the assassinator, when in reality it is a clandestine Hydra agent known as the Winter Soldier. Steve must figure out who the Winter Soldier is and the conspiracy that is causing S.H.I.E.L.D. to fracture. With him is a newcomer named Falcon, also known as Sam Wilson, and Black Widow. Um, yeah. Together, the three of them look to uncover the secrets that could threaten not only S.H.I.E.L.D., but the entire Earth.
Okay. Well, there's one thing you don't need to be threatened by is this movie. What reviews have you girls found? What are people saying about this movie before we get into it?
Right. A post here, or article rather, on Washington Post, dated back in April 3rd, 2014, by Ann Hornaday says this. Captain America the Winter Soldier brings back one of the most mild, mannered superheroes of the Marvel Avengers franchise, the clean-cut, square-jawed Steve Rogers, whose quiet determination and commitment to decency, and preternatural speed and strength allow him to speak softly and carry a big shield. But in this second installment, featuring Rogers and his titular alter ego, Steve is forced into all manner of chaotic, cacophonous action. A baggy, at times brutal conglomeration of surprisingly deep character development and aggressively percussive action, The Winter Soldier is a comic book movie only in its provenance. In its relentless violence and dark political subtext, this might be the most grown up Avengers episode yet.
So Roy K says this movie that established the Russo brothers as one of the very best directors of our age. I have to say, after the first Captain America movie, I had low expectations of this one, but by gad, when it came out, I was absolutely blown away by it. Captain America, the Winter Soldier, was just so awesome. I watched it a couple of times and I still want to keep watching it. An absolute action thriller masterpiece. The story flows like water, easy to understand, and follows understand and follow, and lots of great action and thrills.
Hmm. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. So there seems to be a lot of great stuff said about this movie. I think for the most part, people really enjoyed this movie. What would we grade this movie? Like, if we were to give it a letter grade, what would we grade it?
A plus plus.
Oh, so not coming through
I
with
didn't
the
do
A
A
plus plus.
pluses. I didn't do eight
Oh
of them,
man.
but I could say A plus plus
Objectivity
plus
Okay.
has
Shauna,
left the chat.
what made this movie better than the last one?
Well, one, all of the Captain America movies are great, but they are. But I would say for this one, content was good.
Hmm.
The plot, it was good. I was upset at parts. Don't get me wrong, but it was good.
Hmm.
The jokes, this one was funny, and y'all can't
Hmm.
even pretend.
Hmm.
And the graphics was good, you
Hmm.
know. And it
Hmm.
was obviously the difference between that one and this one was just that one was set back in the 1940s. This one is a little bit, more up to date and just the setting. But I feel like don't know who shot the film, but I felt like they did the same thing. The technology, the cars.
Hmm.
Can we
Mm-hmm.
talk about that first dive that he did
Oh yeah, we're gonna
out of
talk
that
about it.
plane?
We're definitely gonna talk
Like,
Yeah.
about it. Yeah, we're gonna get
bro,
into all of that.
the technique, he gets a
Hmm.
10.
Oh yeah.
That
Oh yeah.
landing, he gets a 10.
Yep.
And for
He's gonna
style,
put him up to
bro,
scale.
10.
Yeah.
So,
Ten's
yeah,
all
no, he
across
did
the
a
board
good job.
on it.
Okay. Nice. Okay. I can respect that. Anybody else? What letter
Ye-
grade would you give this?
Yeah, guys, I'm giving this an A, man. This movie was on point.
Hmm.
Um, and I think like, yeah, this is what we should expect, right? Like if you have
Yep.
Yeah.
a series of films, your sequel should always be better than your prequel. That's how I
Yes.
feel. And
Yep.
so I was really happy to see that it was not only better, but like vastly better. Like it was like
Yep.
crazy better. Like what? And yeah, I just really I loved all of it. I think what captured me the most about it, I'm a sucker for good fighting choreography.
Yep.
And
Hmm.
this was like, oh my gosh. Like when Cap finds out that the Winter Soldier is Bucky, that scene, like that fight scene right before, whoa, like that
Hmm.
was so wonderfully. The fighting was so good on that, like it was crazy.
Hmm.
Um, I felt like there really wasn't too much useless dialogue, so the script was great.
Yeah.
Hmm.
They even improved, in my opinion, improved Black Widow's choreography where she was fighting and it wasn't like, oh, okay, she keeps spinning around this person's neck or whatever. It was like real nice, beautiful fighting, but
Hmm.
not
Yeah.
over the top. So
Yeah.
I liked that medium that they had with it. And yeah, I think plot wise, pretty straightforward. Yeah, this was really good. And I think
Hmm.
like Marvel just needs to this is the template for a good
Yes.
film. Just do what you did here and you will always succeed. Even DC should be taking notes on this one right
Yep.
here.
They
Hmm.
didn't take
So
notes.
I think
Yeah.
it was
We all know
yeah.
that.
This is definitely one of the more darker of the Marvel movies, and so if DC historically is trying to be darker, um, this is definitely one that they have to study if they want to make their movies good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
anybody
agree with
else?
you, Elise. I also give this movie an A. I thought it was amazing. It was way better than the first one. Way
Keep
better by
giving
leaps
him the
and
props that was properly due.
probably
Hey,
do. So
A is
to be
good.
fair, the movie, the way it was shot and edited, I was not a fan of. Not
Yeah.
some things I find that Cap was kind of boring at some points, but this movie just made him shine so much more, and so I respect him as a superhero. The movie just did him justice, basically. Um, and so yeah, I agree with like pretty much everything Elise said. It was shot wonderfully. The action was good. Even like the gore and the violence was like it was a lot, but it was really cool to see. The storyline was great. I liked how there wasn't too many villains. It everything just looked really good. My only The only thing I didn't really like is Black Widow. Like, she's definitely better in this movie. She's better written, and the action is better. But I don't know. I just don't like the whole flirty thing.
My
Yeah.
I don't
God.
know. I think it's just a bit much personally. But she had her guns. She was doing her thing. So I'll give that to her.
Okay. So you give it an A.
An A. Yep.
Okay.
My first A.
Yay.
A.
Yeah, for me, I still think Iron Man 2 is Black Widow's best work because she had some lines that made me really upset, like really stupid lines and jokes that bothered me. Like, guess I gotta say bye bye bikini briefs. I'm like, that's not a good joke. Even Steve Rogers called her out. He's like, oh yeah, you're definitely gonna suffer by not wearing bikini briefs. So even that dude was calling her out. And he's like the nicest guy in the whole Marvel universe. So nah, but she did have better choreography than Iron Man 2. Much better choreography. This movie's strength is fight choreography. Every fight scene was well produced, well put together. Dialogue was crisp, smooth, to the point, funny. You didn't lose the story. You could follow along with what was going on, everyone's motivations. And the characters had great chemistry. I like the fact that Falcon had great chemistry with Cap, even though he's a new character. They were clicking in a way that felt genuine, wasn't cliche. So overall, this movie does everything and more. I'm giving it an A plus.
Wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
man.
Ooh. Ooh.
Rinaldi,
But I
Yeah,
on
gotta
your
I gotta
left.
ask you. Yeah, there
on
he
your
is.
left. That's
I
me.
gotta
I got my wings. I got my wings like my boy Sam.
yeah. And I guess we're gonna find out later if this movie for Rinaldi is better than Iron Man 3. But we're gonna find out, later. We're gonna find out
All
later.
right, let's see.
So I give this movie an A. A solid A.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's a solid A. This is probably my favorite, if not one of my favorite movies in all of the
Yeah.
Marvel Cinematic Universe. It is probably my favorite movie. It is very well written.
Yep.
To make a dark political story become interesting, to take Captain America, who, if there was no movie and you just read him from the comic book, okay, this is a guy in spangly tights with a shield. But to take that character and put him in a situation, put him in a story where politics and war and all of that stuff is involved, um, and then you work with his specific dynamic. What is he going to do in these situations? I feel like the Russo brothers did a great job highlighting and really, really having his light shine as Captain America in this movie. I loved the action. I love the action. There's only a few other movies that I've seen, only a few other comic book movies that I've seen that do action really well, and this is one of them. A lot of close quarter, hand to hand fighting, especially that first shot. Shawnette, you mentioned it, like him diving down and then the land, and then
Yeah.
he's making his round on the boat, and he's like knocking
Yeah.
people out, and the way that I remember being in that theater, and the second he did that stiff kick on that guy, I was sold. I was like, yo, you do not mess with this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was sold on, and right then and there, I was sucked into the movie. When I remember when I first saw it, and the same thing happened this time seeing it. It's not too villain heavy because the plot does a really good job with the slow reveal, which we'll talk about. But I think as there is no one specific villain, it's the Captain America story overall, which again we'll talk about. But I feel like this, with all the potentially dense content of this movie, I feel like the Russo brothers did a really good job making it digestible. And nobody outshined the other. I feel like there was a good placement, and then the Winter Soldier was great. I give this movie an A, a solid A.
Yay. And tell us again, who's the Russo brothers?
So,
Producer,
Shawnette,
director.
so the Russo brothers are brothers who directed a few Marvel movies. This was their first one. The next one that they direct, we haven't reviewed it or seen it yet, but the next one that they direct is Captain America: Civil War. Then they directed Avengers: Infinity War and Avengers: Endgame.
Mm.
So these guys are just masterful directors. Before that, they did some TV shows. They did
Community.
Community.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Community.
Mhm.
So I
That's a
feel
good
like
one.
Yeah.
I feel like the Russos are their opposite Zack Snyder, because
Mm.
like Zack Snyder, they're big comic book nerds. They read all kinds of comic book stories, and they wanted to do a Captain America movie because they loved reading his comics. But the thing is that they want people to connect with the characters before they focus on the action. I feel like
Mm.
Snyder's the reverse. He's more about the
Mm.
action and then connecting with the characters second.
Right.
That's why I mentioned in my review
Yeah.
how Falcon was a big part of the story, because he kind of connects with Cap and helps him stay optimistic, despite the dark political subject matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So let's talk about. Yeah. What do we start with? Because this is a great movie.
Yeah.
I would like to say
That's
that opening scene
Was
took my breath.
hilarious.
like just him running, like with the
On your lap.
sunrise thing. And I was like, wow, I'm already in. Like the colors look good. As a photographer, I'm like, I'm there. You captured him at the best time of day, and he's running. I'm here for
I
it.
was like, yo, you ain't tired yet?
Nah,
Like, how many
13
I
laps
miles.
think it's
y'all think you did?
13 miles in 30 minutes.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's
yeah.
impressive.
Super soldier.
And that's
He's just jogging. He's not even.
He's not running at
Yeah,
full
he's
speed.
not even
Yeah.
running. Yeah.
Like think back to that villain in Hulk. How fast he was running. That
Oh yeah, he was running really fast.
Captain
Oh, yeah.
America can run much faster than that guy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I think.
So
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, go ahead. No, you got that,
No, I
bro.
was just gonna say, I think Cap finds clarity through exercise. It seems like that's what he did, because in the Avengers movie, he's like boxing because he's so confused about how times are different. Now he's jogging. That's how he befriends
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam.
He was like,
'Cause they're
did
jogging
you already
together.
go for a jog? I'm sure you already did it and came back.
Yeah, it's like he's like you should take another lap. Did you already take it?
Yeah.
That was funny. That was funny. You know what's crazy too? I didn't even realize this until now. Captain America does not need to exercise.
He does.
No, but again, it's emotional. It helps.
Yeah,
It helps you
totally. He needs to
focus.
connect. It's mental clarity.
Wow.
No, because his powers allow him to like always stay in shape, because his body's always burning calories, so he doesn't need to exercise to stay in shape.
Wow. He's lucky.
And all right.
Yeah, he's lucky.
But yeah, to stay to be in shape mentally, I think that's like mental clarity. I think
Mental clarity.
there's a lesson in there for those of us who struggle with exercising. It's a lesson.
Yeah.
What are
And
you
that
trying to
lesson's
say?
for me.
Don't
No,
put
that
on the
lesson's for me. No.
choices.
That
All of our
lesson.
quarantine bodies.
That quarantine body. We're all gonna leave the
Yeah.
quarantine looking like yeah.
Hey, I know the public can't see me. I look great. Don't believe them.
I literally had ice cream and cereal today. That's it. I'm
Dang.
struggling out here. I need to take Cap's regimen.
Seriously.
Hey, I had
So
salad.
let's start with we could start with the plot of the movie. Because I feel like that takes up the bulk of how this movie, like what this movie is even about. Captain America, as you read off in your summary, he is an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. He works for S.H.I.E.L.D. now. And early on in the movie, he has this dialogue with Nick Fury. And basically, Nick Fury takes him into this huge hangar where they've been building all of these planes and these weapons and these jets in response to Avengers. And it's just, in preparation to an imminent threat. And Captain America felt like that there was probably, at least from what I remember, he felt like that there was like, it's good reasoning, but like why, in the name of protection, why would you build these weapons and aim it at citizens? This is not protection. This is not, it's fear, if anything, is what Captain America said.
Yeah, that was crazy too. How he's like, he even challenged him in saying that he was like, don't people have to like commit the crime first?
Yeah.
And
Mm.
like, yeah.
Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I can understand his reasoning because, like,
I was even wondering, like, how many underground like things what would you call that, a hangar? I wonder how
Yeah.
many of those actually exist in
Yeah.
real
a
life.
whole,
Oh
a
It
man,
was
whole
a
like a whole
lot.
lot,
fortress.
Oh boy.
a whole.
Let me
Conspiracy
pull up the conspiracy
theories.
corner in Google.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, there's many.
call them up.
I put it.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. But so okay, so that happens and we find out throughout the movie that that as Captain America does his investigation, and not really an investigation, but as he's moving along with his mission, he basically finds out that Shield is not Shield, that Shield has been compromised, and it's actually been compromised for many, many years.
Yeah,
And we find out
the
that it's
Zola
Hydra.
from the first movie,
Yeah.
the
We find
scientist
out that
that worked
it's
for the Red Skull.
mm-hmm.
He told him.
Yeah.
But even before that, like, what did you think about what he said to him when he was having that conversation? So, like, a theme for me, I think, is trust. The whole
Mm-hmm.
thing was just about, like, how much do you trust people? But when he had said to him, like, whether he prefers, well, let me ask you guys, do you think a team is better run compartmentalized or very transparent,
Hmm.
You
if
said
you will?
transparent.
Transparent, yeah, like everyone knows everything versus the
I
way Nick
think,
Fury did it compartmentalized.
yeah, it's weird because Nick Fury is a spy, and he knows there's information that he knows that, based on his judgment, might be better that certain people don't know it.
Yeah.
So it's tough in that regard.
This movie doesn't have easy answers because if Nick Fury took Steve's advice, they wouldn't have stopped the satellites at the end of the movie
Mhm.
because he hid that thumb drive in a candy machine. If he
Mhm.
just
Hmm.
gave it to Director Pierce, or sorry, Secretary Pierce, everyone would be dead. Like, I'm talking, the whole Marvel universe would be dead because they were trying to kill all these heroes,
Mhm.
including Tony Stark, and he wasn't even in the movie.
Yeah, yeah, I saw that. That was quick. Later on in the movie, they were targeting everybody, and it was a
Mhm.
quick shot of the Avengers Tower and one little bullseye inside the tower. And I saw that. I was like, yeah, that they got Tony Stark on target.
Hmm.
But then on the flip
Wow.
side, because of Nick Fury's secrecy, Hydra was able to secretly be in Shield. So it's like
Hmm.
both sides have a
Yeah.
point. Like Nick has
Hmm.
a
Hmm.
point, Steve has a point. So this movie doesn't have
Hmm.
easy answers.
Yeah, I think it boils down to trust then, because even Nick Fury says like, don't trust anybody, but Captain America chose to trust specific people.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true.
Mhm.
And it worked
That
out because he
there
picked the
are
right
people.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, he picked the right people, so it worked
Yeah,
out.
I think a team is better run with people knowing the information. The question isn't so much whether or not the information is known. I think the answer really is who are the people in your team,
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
and what are the motives. Let's make the motives clear first. Never mind the information, never mind the details. What are the motives?
Right.
Yeah.
And they each had a different mission. But I don't think Captain cared about that much.
Yeah,
He
Yeah.
didn't
he
like
did
that at
not. He
all.
did not. I love. See, that's my thing with Captain America, especially in these movies. In the first movie, we see him like he has a very simple focused mission. He's just like, I just want this thing done, and the mission needs to be done. And then for him to have sacrificed himself in order to complete the mission, wake up 70 years later, have that
Hmm.
huge Avengers thing happen, and then find out that Shield has been compromised by Hydra, basically saying that the mission that you sacrificed for, it's still going on.
I know.
And it's like he's right back to that same place where it's like, what about the mission? Let's make it's not
Yeah.
that complicated. Let's take out the enemy. You need a clean slate.
Mhm.
Even when we find out that Nick Fury is not dead, and they're all hanging out in this like underground thing or whatever. Um, Nick Fury and Captain America, they had this quick back and forth, and Captain was like, "No, you need to do just like clean slate. Everybody's got to go. The whole thing needs to be shut down. You,
Mhm.
no shortcuts with this one." And I feel like that out of everybody in the room, only Captain America would be able to make that call because he just has a very focused understanding on what is taking place, and he knows what needs to be done. And so there's no compromising. I think that's sort of what's happening. Shield compromised. Captain America didn't.
Mm.
And I don't know. That's why I love these movies and just seeing, like, watching this character growth. Yeah, and I think we continue to see that later on. Like, he's just very much like that. He just does not change. He has conviction.
Remember what Coulson said in Avengers to Loki? He said, "You have one flaw: you lack conviction."
Yep.
And
Yep.
he's the biggest Captain America fan on the planet. So Steve has influenced people apparently.
Yeah, but I'm mad that he kind of woke up to a world like that. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
that girl, I feel like they might as well have killed her in the first one. After I seen her, I forgot that she was hospitalized.
Hmm.
I was
Yeah.
like,
But
oh
I think
man, she
Oh,
got
I know.
Alzheimer's.
I
Took
know.
her
she's old.
memory.
I
She's
felt sad.
90. She's 95 or 98 years old or whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but why
yeah,
he gotta wake up to that?
I love that scene though because
I
I
like
think
it.
it makes a better love story. I think I got like the Notebook vibes from it. I'm like, oh, like this is believable. This is sweet. Like this is the kind of romance you need in an action film like this. And
Mm-hmm.
so I thought it was great. I think it was sad, but I think it was needed too.
Yeah.
And I mean, Cap gave up everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all notice she didn't miss them hair appointments. Her hair was still on the bed. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, look at the curls. I said, she got her
Mm-hmm.
priorities
She hit
together.
it.
She got family that got her back. You know, she
Yeah.
got family that care about
Family
her.
knew that's like, hey, Steve Rogers is coming by. We gotta get you
Yeah.
right.
Gotta look you up real quick. You gotta look pretty on this bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was sweet. I felt like, if it's one of those scenes where if you don't really understand what's going on, then a typical person reviewing this, not a typical person, but somebody can review this and go, okay, that scene is not needed. Let's take it out. But I feel like that scene, among many other scenes, while it's
It was
short,
needed.
it zones in on, like, you get in the mind of Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
Because right now Steve Rogers is dealing with a world that he's trying to understand, and while he's trying to understand it, he's still focused on the one thing, the simple things. Um, and the simple things go right with his moral values, with his, very age old moral approach and
Yeah.
everything. And it goes back to just love. And, I think he still misses that dance. Um, so I don't know. It's very, yeah. I feel like that scene was definitely needed in a movie like this.
Yeah. That line Nick Fury said when they were arguing on the hangar, it was Shield doesn't focus on what the world has the potential to be. It takes the world as it is and
Hmm.
deals with it. You
Hmm.
need to get with the program, Cap. And then Cap
Hmm.
was like, "Don't hold your breath," and he just walks away.
Yeah.
So
You know what's interesting? It's maybe Steve Rogers didn't need that wake up call, but I feel like subconsciously Steve Rogers was trying to get with the program because we see him in the first scene when he runs past Falcon,
yeah,
and then they talk and they buddy and all that stuff, and he talks him. He basically gives him an album to listen to.
yeah, Marvin
Um,
Gaye.
yeah,
Ellis.
yeah. And he goes, "You got to listen to this Marvin Gaye album." And he writes it down, and he has a list of things that he's like, "I gotta explore this." But I feel like that was purposeful for somebody who is, like, well past his time. He's
Mm-hmm.
trying to adapt to the world that he is currently in, and this whole movie is sort of a nod. Like, that scene is a nod to the whole movie. I feel like it introduces that, like, he knows that he's out of time. He's trying his best to understand the world that he lives in and how he
Mm-hmm.
is going to operate in it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I like that scene. I think you're right about that. It sets up so much in
Mm-hmm.
that. And I loved how like Star Wars was already crossed off.
Hmm.
Like he's actually actively going through this
I
list.
know. Rocky was on it too.
Yo,
Yeah,
imagine if he finds out Mace Windu is Nick Fury. That's gonna blow his mind.
He's like Director Master Fury?
right.
The Force.
Master Fury.
He takes off his eye
Yeah.
patch. He's like, no, I could see the whole time through the Force, Steve.
I can see the whole time the Force. Yeah. So I guess the fact that Hydra is secretly Shield, and it brings back to what the original enemy is, and that's Hydra. Anyway, did you guys catch the scene with the remember the senator from Iron Man 2?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The guy
Yeah,
with the face.
Yeah, with the face, with the potato face.
that potato
he was a Hydra
face.
man the whole time.
He said, yeah, it makes
He was
sense because he
Looks
was
like
trying to
Iron
get
Man.
Tony's he was trying to
Right?
use the authority of
This
the U.S. government to get Tony's suit.
right. It all
Yep.
makes sense now. Because I was
Yeah,
at
because
first, I was kind of like, yo, why is he hating?
Mm,
Mhm.
Hydra had that suit, man, it'd be a wrap.
Oh
Because
man.
I
they make
will
millions
say.
of them.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, because they just make millions of them, and they could rule the world.
I love like secret society movies. I love how like you say like one code word or phrase or whatever, and it leads you through like this rabbit hole of this
Mm.
society that like unfolds. So I thought that was cool. The whole Hail Hydra thing, how he like gets in close and whispers.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad that they kind of played with that. Um, I don't know. I think it's just something worth exploring, and if you do it well, it pays off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do so
Yeah.
much in this movie that's like it's not convoluted. It's not a
Yeah,
lot. It's actually raises up question and makes you want to explore a different corner of this world that we're reviewing.
Yeah.
Um,
and I liked how it was very believable because secret societies are still a thing. Like
mhm.
I'm sure there's a secret society that we don't even know about that's intent on world domination for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
fact that the villains were believable and human is what I liked. No
Hmm.
like zombies from outer space and all that stuff.
Yeah. Right.
He has
Yeah.
a name. His name is Malekith. We don't care. We
Mhm.
don't care about
Put
you.
some respect
We
Put
don't
some
know. We
respect
don't
on
care. No, no,
Malekith's
no,
name.
no, no. We don't care about
on
you. We don't care
I
about
know we
you at
don't.
all, brother.
No, he don't get no
We don't. You
respect.
wasted an hour and 40 minutes of my time, Mister Alien
Dude.
Right?
Zombie
Yeah, seriously.
Elf
Yeah.
Dude. Anyway,
Zombie elf.
let's
Zombie
talk
elf.
about
Somebody
let's
else do.
continue to talk about great villains like Hydra. Let's talk about them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
That's crazy because that's not a one person villain, man.
It's an
That's
organization.
wow.
It's an
Yeah.
Pretty much the whole world was Hydra.
Yeah,
Basically.
yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Oprah is Hydra. She's like, you're Hydra, and you're Hydra, and you're Hydra.
Right, yeah. You're Hydra. You're Hydra. Look at me see. Look at me see. You're
I'm here,
Hydra.
Those are the thoughts of Rinaldi, and it does not reflect the thoughts of Fergie. I will just put that out there. Okay, I love you.
For this podcast.
I'm already enemy
Remember
number one after the
remember
previous
in
episode of
the
the podcast.
remember later on in when Steve Rogers is speaking in the intercom at the Shield headquarters
Mhm.
and basically like giving a whole rundown like, hey, some of you are Hydra, some of you are not. I don't know who to trust, but we got to destroy this thing. Those things cannot
Oh
go
yeah,
up. And you basically get this divide within the organization, and it starts to get clearly shown. Even like when there were like I think 5 or 6 Shield members who were genuinely Shield. It was a quick moment where they were walking out, and they were like, "Hey guys, we might be the only Shield agents that are on Cap's side. We got to do this, we got to do that," and then automatically they get killed. And I was like, "Oh man!" Like there are people who are genuinely even the kid who
hmm
was being pressured to push the button to raise the helicarriers. He was like,
Yeah.
"No, Cap's orders. Cap's orders."
Yeah.
Captain's orders. And I was like, oh man, talk about like, doing the right thing.
Conviction.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
I liked Rumlow in this movie. Like he was the guy
Oh
that
yeah.
led the strike team with the
Yep.
goatee. Yeah, he was
Yep.
pretty menacing. Even when he threatened that
Yeah.
kid, he cocked the gun and kid started
You
to
mean my
sweat.
man Crossbones?
Well, that's
Crossbones.
that's what happens at the
That's
end.
my man
He becomes
Crossbones.
Crossbones. Yeah, he
Yeah,
cocked the
that's my man
gun. That kid
Crossbones.
started sweating.
Who knows? We
Man.
might see him in a later movie. Who knows?
Who knows?
But nah, he was intimidating basically, and
Yeah, he was
he
good.
fought good choreography. All his scenes had great fight choreography. Because
Yeah.
some movies they kind of get lazy. They're like, oh, he's just a henchman,
hmm
so let's just talk. No, it's like no, he fought. I mean, he lost, but he lost with dignity. It was well choreographed.
So, so speaking of that, you mentioned some of the fights and how and his fight scenes. Let's talk about the action in this movie
Yeah,
because I thought the action was like spot on from like the very beginning of this movie.
From
the
the
boat
beginning,
scene.
yep.
So
The
I
boat
guess
scene
we
was on
could go
point.
back to Black Widow because I know y'all are ready to kill her.
No,
Okay,
I
well
like
we can.
She was doing well.
no,
She
no,
did good on
hold
the
on.
boat. She did a
So
good
I
job.
was gonna say that in this particular movie, she was in her territory. She was
Yeah,
fighting land battles and being
yeah.
a spy like she is,
She improved.
double
My
agent.
issue my issue with her in this movie is when she spoke. That's the issue.
Agreed.
But
Oh
fighting,
dang!
Agreed.
Yeah.
I was
fighting,
after
Yeah.
fighting was
10 minutes,
good.
I was sick and tired of her.
Oh
Bye bye
wow!
bikini.
Thank
Black Widow,
God.
what are you
Bye bye
doing?
bikini
You're losing
breeze.
I was
fans, Black
like,
Widow.
What a
why you
sucker. Bye
acting
bye
dumb?
bikini
When the
breeze.
captain
Yeah.
speaks to you, respond.
Seriously.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
was
yeah,
so
kind of
upset.
almost ruined that. Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
so annoyed.
Wait, why'd she take so long to answer him again on the boat? I'm trying to remember.
She was doing her
She's
own
like, I only pretend like I know
Yeah.
stuff. I don't actually
Yeah.
know stuff.
Man, you need to be quiet, girl.
No, you
Be
know what's
quiet,
going
slap you
on.
upside your face.
Be quiet.
No, no. You
Be
know, she
quiet.
doesn't like
But she
yeah,
fought
Rashana.
good.
Yeah, yeah,
hmm
exactly. Yeah. So Shauna, just to go back to the, the whole Black Widow conversation and the hate and whatever. So I'll explain for myself. I don't I don't necessarily hate her. I just feel like like in this movie, she worked out fine because like she's fighting like human
Mhm.
people. It's a little bit
hmm
more her territory. She like
Yeah.
at the quote unquote the incident, that's a whole nother species. You just don't have the skills for that. You
That's what I
Yeah.
know?
was saying. She should have stayed within all of the shield agents and stayed on the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
so
Stayed in her lane.
Exactly.
she just didn't have the gear to fight extraterrestrial beings, which is why I'm kind of like, okay, girl, I don't know about you
With
right
her
now.
guns.
Yeah,
And
I know.
she managed a little
Yeah.
something, but
Can
that's
they at
just
least give her
I
bigger
get it.
guns?
I get it. I get it. She was trying to look out for her homeboy Hawkeye, but you're making his job
I'm not
harder
even
because
convinced of that friendship. I'm not even convinced
no,
of
no,
that.
Yeah.
To be
it's
honest.
poorly acted. I know it's poorly acted. I'm just
Yeah.
saying that's the story we're given.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
you're making his job harder because he's got to watch your back and his own
Mhm.
back.
my
Yeah.
question
So stay
is
on the
like,
Yeah.
ship.
my whole thing is like, so are y'all done with the destroyer cannon gun shotgun
Because
prototype
she
you
can
can
just
hook her up with? Because at
yo
least
sis.
like if she want to have
She
guns,
needs something.
destroyer
Yeah.
bullets up in
Mhm.
there, help her out because she can't. Anyways,
She just needs a desk job.
Black Widow should have been with like you, Elise. Like, yo, Colton, can you swing that cannon over to me real
Wait,
quick?
Fergie, what'd you say? What'd you say, Fergie?
I said she just needs a desk job.
She needs a desk
That's
job.
it.
That's
Dang.
No, the girl can fight. She could fight. And she
yeah,
could lie
people.
her way
You
through
can fight
stuff.
She can
people.
do training seminars and go from there, but
She
I'm
can
like
fight
she's
dead.
so
people.
She
She can
unnecessary.
said
fight
she
people.
said
I'll
she
give her
said
that.
answer my calls and make me a PowerPoint for my presentation.
I'm
That's what she
Exactly.
dead.
said.
No, 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 no. That's a little bit. That's a
It's
little
time.
hard.
Dang.
Wait,
So
but
so
she was Tony
so
Stark's
we get
secretary. Air
she
quotes.
was no she was not. She was
Air
playing she was a
quotes.
spy. She was a spy.
Yeah, I know. Air
So
What are you
quotes.
doing
so
undercover?
but she
Undercover
was
would
good.
suit her.
She
Yeah,
was good.
she's good at undercover.
Yeah, she's good
Yeah.
and she's also good in with action in this movie. I feel like they did a
Yeah.
great job
She did
Yeah.
a great
Yeah,
They
job.
did
with
her
Yeah.
justice.
she
placing
could
Really
her
fight.
good.
Mhm.
where she could fight, she can shoot, she she's good in this movie. What did we think of the action scenes and the I guess not the real villain of the movie because we know Hydra's the real villain, but the instrument in which they use, which was Winter Soldier, and that's what the movie's about is Winter Soldier.
But
Mm.
wait, though. Talk about Nick Fury's car.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, the car
Oh,
scene.
Oh,
okay,
that
okay,
Bro,
so that's right because
I
we run
love
into
that
Winter
scene.
Soldier. That scene where they're
do those
trying to like
cars exist?
you know
Probably.
what Probably.
Probably.
Yeah,
Maybe.
secret
Yeah.
societies and spies and
Yeah, we
government
don't know
agencies.
anything. They probably
I don't see why
Yeah.
not.
Because that's all
something.
under wraps.
When it was counting down, how
Yeah.
compromised the window was, I was like, what?
Yo, my
Yeah.
man Nick Fury was calm. He goes,
Yeah.
I know, be quiet. When he get ready, he was calm.
17%
You know,
armor
I
integrity. Wait!
Those convoluted
1%.
police officers,
no,
no good.
I love scenes like that, and the reason why is because like I don't know, I like to see the like non super powered like just normal humans handle
Mhm.
business,
Yep.
and Nick
Yep.
he was really doing well
Oh
with
yeah.
that. So I love scenes like that where you can show me something with him or Maria Hill, like just somebody like or
Mhm.
Peggy Carter, like just doing something really cool. And it's just like wow, like
Yep.
you know, it's not just the superheroes, but these guys are pretty
Yeah,
cool.
man.
Yeah.
You know, they can hold it down. So I love scenes like that.
Yeah, that was
To me, that scene, like, it felt like a Dark Knight scene. Like, it was straight out of Batman. I kind of liked that. Like, the way it was shot, the car, the whole chase, the whole feel of it was awesome.
Mhm.
I think that's the standard, like Rinaldi said, going from here
Yeah.
on out.
Yeah, and then like so they shoot up the car. The car's riddled with bullets, and it's funny that the car like registers all of the bullets and it like reads it back to you. And then they
Hmm.
get the big, I don't even know what you call it, that huge thing
Like a
that kept on
hammer
like,
type thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh, I
Yeah.
think
Um,
it's dang it. It's like a dang it. I remember reading
That'd
an
be
article
cool.
about those things.
Is
But
it a ram?
yeah, it's like a
kind of,
ram.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
ram, yeah,
Yeah,
battering ram or something.
it breaches um
Armored
like
cars.
armored cars or armored doors or walls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
placed on walls. Yeah, that scene was intense. And then like so to drive away from that and lose some of the fake police officers and whoever else was trying to kill you.
Some of
Um,
these racist police officers.
right.
He's like, you want to see my
And
lease?
yeah, and then to run into you want to see my lease. Oh yeah, yeah, that seems like
I
yo,
love
that's
that.
like
I love
talk about
that.
racist like the racial commentary like
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the movie. I'm like, that's perfect.
Like, why are you staring
Um,
at me?
literally.
Right.
You want to see my lease? And then for him to drive away and then run into the Winter Soldier,
Yeah.
and that's kind of where we really get an introduction of him. And then we see the Winter Soldier throughout the movie. We see him running. We see him fighting with Captain America twice. Um, what do we think of his scenes?
Yo, he's no joke. I
Mm.
yeah, I get tense whenever I see him because I'm like, oh, y'all need to go. You know, because there's so many scenes where you know people are after the hero, they're shooting, and you know how you know the hero or somebody or the protagonist runs and the bullets miss. This guy doesn't really miss.
No, he
I don't
doesn't.
Right.
know. I don't think he's
Mm.
missed a shot. Maybe I don't like. I would have to review it to see if he missed a shot, but I think he probably missed a couple or something. But only
Mhm.
I can only count on one hand how many shots he may have missed while he was
Yeah.
shooting. But it's like as soon as he gets you, he's getting your shoulder, your leg, something. And so I always was like, oh my gosh, this guy.
And remember,
Yeah.
he
Hmm.
hit a shield agent in the shoulder. Like a regular police officer would have died if he tried to fight the Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
Mm.
so
He would have got
he
shot right
gets
in the head.
yeah, so he's a person who gets things done. So I was kind of
Yeah.
like makes me tense up and terrified like oh snap, like he's not gonna leave
Hmm.
until somebody gets popped here. So he just, you know, so he yeah. I loved it. It was kind of like scary, but I was like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you are him." Like, yeah. I like and then the big reveal too is just like, "Oh."
Oh yeah, the big reveal. Yeah, that it's Bucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've
Bucky.
been that they froze him. They've been operating on him. They made him a super soldier. Um, yeah, it's
Mm.
Like, how did they
They just
find
yeah.
his
did.
body?
That's I
They
mean
searched.
Well, they
That's
kind
all
of
they
did
did.
a bit of a flashback, didn't
yeah they
Yeah.
did yeah they did like a very brief blurry flashback
they?
Yeah.
Right.
where they like found him in the snow
Yeah.
and then like just did this like MK Ultra stuff on his mind.
Yeah.
Um,
So It looks like
surgery,
they
metal arm, all that
reverse
stuff.
engineered the super soldier formula
Mhm.
because, like they said,
Yeah.
he survived the fall. So maybe
Yeah.
they took Cap's DNA and were able to create some like knockoff serum.
Yeah,
So
that's plausible.
because he fell
Yeah.
like hundreds of feet, maybe even thousands of feet on a mountain and then died. So that healing factor.
Yeah. I'm also wondering where they got access to the material in his arm because
Yeah.
because the thing is that for the longest time it was Cap's shield, the whole vibranium that was like the strongest thing, and he was like he would punch that thing, and it was like, oh
Mhm.
snap, something's kind of
Mhm.
Yeah.
penetrating this now.
Mhm.
So I'm curious to know where they
Maybe
got.
we gotta wait until a future movie. Maybe Black Panther future movie will explain it.
Yeah,
'Cause,
but
You
I
already,
thought
you already
that
told
that
us
was
this
pretty.
movie explains it. You
Was
already
it?
told us what the
Right,
explanation
right,
happens.
right. But I thought that was pretty interesting. That they actually got that for his.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you have the fight in the elevator.
Oh,
Yo.
Mhm.
What, each
Literally,
floor?
literally.
Another two people would trickle on?
And then like Captain America
Like,
notices is like, okay, there's a weird energy here.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I didn't get it at
Uh,
first. I was like,
nah,
it's
they
his
were they
people.
were
They're
they
all
were
just getting
acting
on the
weird.
elevator.
That
What's
They
the
really
that
were
problem?
one
Yeah.
like
black dude was
It was
sweating.
tense.
He was sweating hard.
no sweat.
He was like, "Yo, I wish I put PTO on this day."
oh, true PTO. Like no, tension is something that you feel 90% of the time.
Yeah.
And so like when somebody comes and steps on the elevator and
Yeah,
things are weird, things are not right, and you have Captain America like who's like as sharp as a tack
yeah.
mentally, like
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's
super
just like,
sharp.
okay, something's not right. And then more
What did,
guys come on the elevator.
what did he say
Yeah.
to everyone when they came on the elevator? What
Everybody
did he
gets in the
say?
elevator and he goes, before we get started, does anybody want to get off?
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
Let
yo,
anyone like get
Yeah.
off
I
it.
yo. Like this is a super soldier.
Right. Right.
Because
Yeah.
he
Like
already
this
knew
is a
something
super
was about to go
soldier. How do you
down.
guys think you can take him?
Well, because it was smart. It was smart because
In
okay,
a
it's an
glass
enclosed
elevator.
space. There's 12 of you, and you have tasers, and you have that magnetic clamp
Yeah. That
that
thing.
was like really hard for him to break out of. Like, I thought that was a good. I mean, in reality, maybe they should have just shot a tranquilizer dart at him, but then we wouldn't have gotten that dope
True.
scene.
Yeah.
We would
Like,
have gotten a
you
dope
mean like
scene though.
you mean like a,
And that dude who was just
yeah?
like,
He's like, this
this
isn't
ain't
personal.
personal.
It feels personal.
Yeah.
Yeah, to knock him out with you need
Yeah.
a horse tranquilizer, and you need like 10 of them. This is a super
Yeah,
Yeah.
soldier who heals like very fast.
yeah, it's true.
Yeah. No,
So like,
Yeah.
I think maybe they it was like a balance of them planning but also underestimating him at the same time because they came in numbers knowing, okay, one person can't get this guy, so we're gonna have to jump him. But I think
mhm,
they just also didn't realize that actually that might not go so well for you, even with numbers. So I think it was like
no,
they weren't really, they knew, okay, this is super soldier, but they was like, oh, you a super
Oh
soldier.
yeah.
like
You a
Oh,
super
like
soldier.
this is a trained super soldier.
Oh
Like
Oh,
yeah,
you
you
you,
that's
super
super
true.
soldier.
oh you super soldier. Oh
oh,
you
Yeah,
you
super
you a
super
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 soldier.
super.
soldier. You's a super soldier. Put the
Oh
super
man,
in soldier. I mean, there's a reason why Sam or Falcon says, "I do everything he does, just slower."
just slower.
There's a
You
Yeah,
reason,
just
just
yeah.
slower.
just slower. That was one of my
What's
favorite
his
lines of that movie.
weakness?
I do everything he does, just slower.
What was that? What was that for you?
What's Cap's weakness? Does he have one? It seems like he does everything excellent.
Bullets. You can
Nah,
shoot
bro.
him. Bucky
Stop
did
trying to
it
You
at
get
the end
can't
of the
him.
shoot him.
movie.
You can't shoot him.
Uh,
Yeah,
He's not
but heals so
impenetrable.
fast.
but you got to
Yeah,
shoot
he
him a
heals
lot
fast.
though, because he still heals. So you got to shoot him like
Yeah.
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 20 times, not
So
9 times, like
he
50.
has
Why
no.
y'all plotting
Are you
on him for? Let
serious?
him live.
But no, like what is? I think his weakness is the
Let
same
him
weakness
live.
that humans have. It's just less.
Yeah, it's true.
Mm.
Or
Because you
maybe
can
more.
stab him, you can cut
You got to
him, you
stab him
can,
like
you know,
30 times though to even have.
allergic
Right.
reaction.
Allergic reaction.
Allergic to peanut butter.
Are you allergic? That'd be
Yeah,
funny
but
if
he's
like
got to
that's the
eat.
one
He's got to eat
flaw
a
he like
jar of
You
it
got me
is
though.
off
He's
the
got to
that
eat a
that's
jar of peanut butter though,
Yeah.
because healing factors. So you got to force feed him like 8 peanut butter sandwiches,
yeah.
not just one.
Mm-mm.
That is interesting though. A lot of superheroes like it's like
Poor
okay, what's his
Captain.
power and what's his weakness? He doesn't really
Yeah.
have like a clear like
Yeah,
weakness.
that was gonna be my next question because I'm like, you can kind of understand what the other superheroes, what their weaknesses are, but I'm like, Cap doesn't. I don't know. He's just strong, strong
Yeah.
and good looking.
Yeah, that's essentially it.
But in this movie, I do feel like they changed a little bit of him mentally. I don't know if it's because he's depressed in this
All his friends
movie
are
or he's
dead.
more angry in this movie. But I do feel like they took away a little bit of his innocence here.
Peggy,
I didn't like that. I miss
Mhm.
my
Peggy is
1940s
old.
Captain America
Peggy's old. She
versus
got
the
Alzheimer's, and all
2000.
his other homeboys are dead. So I'd be depressed too. If all you guys were dead and Shawnette had Alzheimer's, I'd be depressed. I'm like, dang.
Yeah, but in this movie, he was cussing a lot more. He was so negative. I wasn't
But
feeling
like,
it.
I wouldn't make it a cut and dry thing for Captain America because, like, in the 1940s, things were much more simpler, so it was easy for him to have a more calmer resolve. But now he's in such a complex world where people have so many different motives, and it questions.
Yeah.
He now questions his own sanity and his own morals.
Yeah.
And not not a questioning of his morals, like, oh, am I wrong? But like weighing it against his own morals, because
Yeah.
it's not like he wants to completely dismiss it. He'll challenge it, but it's not like he'll not at least consider the inner workings of those morals or those motives. So he's in a completely different world, and he's trying to figure out how exactly to operate under this. And so I think some of the dark stuff, the depressing stuff, I think it comes with the territory because this is a darker movie.
Yeah.
I don't expect him to be as hopeful as he was in 1940s, especially now where he thought that he defeated Hydra and they're still existing. They still
Oh
exist.
yeah, that's
Mhm.
that's
That's a good
a
point.
big blow.
Right, 70
Yeah.
years later. They're
Mhm.
still
Yeah.
The Hydra's not that like
Right?
Hydra was just this
Nothing has
army camp,
changed.
and now they're like global,
Yeah.
and they're
Right.
working under they're working as like
Yeah.
a covert whatever.
You know what I thought was interesting too? Like towards the end, there was like another where they were targeting different people and targeting New York too. I'm like, it's like cyclical too. Like this is basically the same thing that happened in the first Captain America movie. There's guns, there's bad guys, just people, whatever, heading towards New York, and here he is again, faced with this
Mm-hmm.
this burden of saving everyone, basically from Hydra again.
Well,
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
Sam ask him like, what do you want? What do you?
He does
Because
ask him like, "What do you want?"
he goes to that support group that Sam leads,
Mm-hmm.
and it's almost like
Mhm.
he's trying to find some I don't know peace. It's like he's at war. It's
Oh,
like
look
he's
at
at
that
war with
silver
himself.
lining. I didn't even realize that. He went to a support group.
Yeah,
He made a friend.
A black friend.
I think that friend is.
Right.
I think
Did
that
he go
friend is
try to
helping
Yo,
protect
him.
he goes, yo,
Friend.
these white devils, they're not like
These white devils,
He said
like,
I'm
white devil.
what's
done.
with this like what
Wait, you
he
realize
he can only trust Nick Fury and he can only trust
how
Falcon.
come all these
What is that saying?
how come all these Jokers have a black friend? Like Tony got Rhodey,
Yo,
and
they
Thor
go
got
back
Heimdall. It's like
yo.
they
What
always
is
got
up
a
with these
black
white
friend.
Who does T'Challa got?
Because we the
We
A1
we
sauce.
loyal. We
as the
loyal out
as
here.
the as the as the only white guy on this podcast, I will
Yes,
say that
clear. Make that clear.
Oh
I'll make
my
that
god.
clear. I support the decisions that Captain America makes in these movies. We do not support Hydra. We don't support any of that. Just I just
Okay.
think it's funny. For the record, is the
He
only
said,
white
for the
guy
record.
who just said, "Man, these white devils." Like this is Captain America. Like, oh man.
Wait,
And
did you
as I
guys?
say that, I'm remembering other things that happened, but I can't talk about it because these are in later movies. But like, he does it again. So like, there's something to it. There's something to it.
Wow.
Did you guys like the
Oh,
fight
goodness.
between Cap and Winter Soldier in the street?
In the street,
Yeah,
it was
like
good. It was a
yeah,
good fight.
I thought
It was probably the best fight.
top
Yes,
five
I love that.
fight I've ever seen in a movie.
It's better than the one in the hangar in the helicarrier.
Yeah,
I didn't
Yeah,
really like
that
the one.
was okay, but it wasn't the same as the one on the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one in the streets, close quarters. They're the shield's being thrown all over the place, and Bucky's using his knife. It was a really good fight.
Yeah, I love that. It was really good. I was like, ooh, like this choreo is like on.
Choreo.
Yeah, that's the way I
Choreo.
put it. Yeah, that one, and I actually
Does anybody know how
Hmm.
long it took to film this movie? Like, how long did they practice
Seriously.
it took
all
4 months
this?
to film this movie. 4 months, yeah.
Months?
really.
It took them.
That was really
4 months?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's it?
That's
Yeah.
great work. You
Well,
sure it was?
Wow.
when you're doing choreography and you hire stunt doubles to do the choreography, it's less
Okay.
than just having Chris
Okay.
Evans do the choreography. Because
Yeah.
that's not actually Chris Evans doing those flips.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
She said,
He goes,
Well,
oh
usually-
man, I got Chris
Usually
Evans
what
to fight.
movies do is they whatchamacallit? They film the dialogue scenes first.
Mm.
And that takes only a few weeks because this is an action movie, so there's not that much dialogue scenes. So you could kill all that in like 6 weeks. Then you spend the rest of the 3 months just doing all the
That's
action
fair.
scenes. Yeah.
That's fair. That's so impressive, honestly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Anything else that we wanted to discuss, or any points
What
that
about
we
Falcon?
may have missed?
My
What
man
about
Falcon?
Falcon?
What did you guys think
My
of
man
Falcon?
Falcon. What about him?
There was the scene where he where we first see his like get up, and I'm like, man, he looks really dorky, but I still love him though. The goggles and his fit was just not there.
No, it wasn't there for the first one.
Yeah,
His
exactly.
outfit 1.0.
This was the Falcon
Needs a
beta.
redo.
It goes up from here.
Yeah. This is definitely the beta outfit.
Yeah, well,
beta.
yeah, they always gotta have a beta outfit, even with Captain America's.
Yo,
outfit.
that
Kinda
I
like
did
rough,
not.
and I like it now.
Yeah.
His
The one now
outfit
was great. The one in Avengers.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he was wearing
Yeah.
pajamas. I did not like that one.
Yeah, it did look like he was wearing pajamas.
He just woke up.
Also,
That
that
out
was
of a
Coulson. He
70-year
did not
coma.
decide to make.
Coulson recommended he wear that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Coulson's
he goes,
fault.
I want you to wear it because Captain America, like 1940s. But he was wearing pajamas. So he was wearing a onesie.
Yeah.
Well, Coulson was acting like a
Onesie with the
daggone
belt buckle, the whole
kid
thing.
around Cap that whole movie. So yeah, of course he's gonna tell him to wear onesies.
Yeah. But yeah, no, the costume. I like Captain America's costume in this movie. He like towards the end, he changes
Great.
into his 1940s soldier suit,
Right.
and I think he did that to help like fully bring Bucky back to how he remembers Steve Rogers. Because like he's
Wow.
calling him Bucky. He goes, "You remember
Yeah.
me?" Steve Rogers. He goes, "I don't remember you," and that helps, I guess, jog something in Bucky. And so in the final fight, he goes, "I'm bringing everything, like how he remembered me. I'm bringing that back."
Yeah.
Mm.
Did you guys notice that in the exhibit, that oh my gosh, that boy was 95 pounds. I said, oh my gosh, I haven't been 95 pounds since like
Little.
He
Oh
was
my
so
gosh.
little
Oh,
and
cute.
cute.
he was like 5'3", 5'4", or something like that.
Adorable.
He's 5'4",
95
95 pounds.
95.
Yeah,
Now
and
he's-
then he boosted up to being 6'2" and like 290 pounds or whatever.
210.
I will say though,
He was the
in
size
the
of a
opening
fifth
scene
grader.
when he's talking to wow, what's his name? Falcon. He like turns around. I'm like, oh my gosh, look at his back. Like, what the heck?
Yeah. My man back. It's my
Oh, you
man
saw
back.
all that,
I had
Fergie.
to rewind it. I was like,
Oh,
what?
My man back.
what I say
I
about
was like,
looking
where did
at
they make
him?
that at? Like, oh my gosh. Like, I'm like, I didn't know the human body could look like that. And I'm like, I'm impressed already. Like, and then the fighting and the action and all that. I know
Well,
he's your
first of
man. I'll let you
all,
have him, but I
Shauna was about to get
okay.
territorial up in
Fergie
here.
saying,
yeah.
Fergie saying, congratulations.
I'm
When,
saying though, his family lived over in Boston.
when,
We could go meet his
Right,
mother.
right,
His dad like a
We could go to
remember
his
dentist or
that
house
something?
real
scene?
quick.
Remember that scene when
You know
Black
what? I haven't
Widow?
seen the dentist in a minute, so.
Remember that scene when Black Widow pushed the shield officer off the roof, and he's like, "What about Laura in accounting?"
Yeah,
In that scene, I thought she was gonna say, "What about Shawnette, who works in Cambridge?"
Oh, dang. Yeah, when they're trying to figure out a
Like,
mate for him, like somebody
yeah,
for him to
like,
date.
yeah, Shawnette. Shawnette's like, "Hey, I'm out here."
Before, well, actually, no, it wasn't before. This is later in the movie, in like the third act, where, oh, what happened? Basically, Falcon was about to fly off, and Bucky grabs one of his wings and rips it
Yeah,
off.
he
And
said,
then
"Get
the set, he goes, "Yo, that beta suit needs to go." Like he didn't need a life suit.
Yeah, thank you, Bucky, because Falcon has better suits in future
He was
movies.
reading all of our minds. He goes, "You
right."
need to upgrade."
You need
I
to
think it
you
was
need to
double
redo
fold.
it.
It was double fold because Falcon was trying to help Cap, and then so he's like, "Oh, I don't like that." He's like, first of all, I don't want you saving him, and I don't like your wings." Okay, yoke. Like, yo, he picked him up like he was going to work. Like, where's my suitcase?
Yo,
Yo,
dang.
that part.
That's funny.
Oh man, why do I find humor in the most random things? Oh my gosh, that was
It's what
funny
you do,
It's
too.
the
Elise.
best.
It's what you do.
I was gonna say conspiracy wise, did y'all peep that they said, "Oh, let's make all of the
Mm-hmm.
traffic lights in the country red"?
Yep.
Can the world do
Listen,
that?
listen.
If it's on a
All of
computer,
that?
Yeah, because all on
yeah.
computer. Yeah.
Wow. I just feel like if they
Yeah.
want to kill us
Yeah.
all,
Yeah.
it's real
Yep.
easy.
Listen,
Yep.
Facebook. Also,
That's so
Facebook knows
scary.
so much about you guys. Like, it's like if you're on Facebook, like, forget it. They'll find you. They'll do whatever.
Yeah.
Oh man, we're scaring off
Traffic
all
lights
of
are
our viewers right now.
nothing.
Wait, guys, find a
Live.
dude. Find a dude with some beta
The
wings who
government.
runs a support group. He'll cheer you up. He will. He'll cheer you up. He'll make you more optimistic.
I
I
need
mean,
a black man with
he
wings.
made some people walk away at the
Black
park.
man with
I
wings.
need a black man with wings who runs his.
Wait,
With
what? I didn't even hear
wings.
what Lisa said.
No, I said, well, because Rob was like, "Oh, we probably scared away like half our viewers." I'm like, honestly, some of them probably left once you said white devils.
Yo, yo, I have the call.
That was just
You
humor,
guys haven't left
guys.
yet.
That was just
Oh man,
humor.
Welcome to
Exactly,
the
humor.
Rob. Why
podcast where
would
we
you
talk
go
about
there?
white
Why?
devils, we talk about conspiracy,
We're
and
talking
facts we
about black
tell.
man with wings.
Secret
That's right.
hangers. Facebook spying on you.
Conspiracies. But if you've seen the same movie that we saw,
In
then you
secret
know exactly what we're talking
societies.
about.
So
Don't act like we didn't even watch the same movie.
so speaking of a
Oh my
conspiracy,
god.
what about the face of this conspiracy, Secretary Pierce? What did you guys think of him and his
My
reasoning?
man needs to just give up that wig,
That rug.
give up that piece, man, and just hey, commit to it. Just deal with it. Because there's nothing.
Ooh.
Alexander
Fury's
Pierce,
boss
when they were this the white dude in the suit,
with the
The
red
other white
hair.
devil.
Fergie.
He shot a maid.
He has like
He
a wig.
shot a
He has a
maid.
bad hairpiece. The only thing worse than a wig is a bad wig.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
a really bad
Yeah.
wig. Yeah.
You need a lace front.
Like okay, I get it. You got a
Mm-mm.
wig, whatever, not a big. But if you got a bad wig and somebody lied to you, that's a problem.
Yep. Costume design department lied to him. That's all.
And that was a decision in this movie. Like, you know what? This works. Like somebody lied to this guy with this wig.
Maybe he did it on purpose. He's like, "Yo, part of Hydra.
Mm.
I do what I want."
I wear whatever I want.
I know this wig. I know this wig is tired, but
I
I'm
don't know,
gonna
man.
wear it because I'm part of
Even
Hydra.
Red Skull has standards. He wore a whole mask and it still worked. I'm
Red
like,
Skull had
yo,
Play-Doh
That Play-Doh.
eyes.
Oh man,
Like, I'll take the wig over the Play-Doh eyes, because at least
it's true.
people wear
Play-Doh eyes,
bad
yeah.
wigs in real life. You know?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, anything worse than a
Mm-mm.
you know, if you're an old man, anything worse than a wig is a bad wig.
So
if
what
you
about the
got
Bigger than a
money,
reasoning?
wig.
What about the reasoning he
That's
had
stimulus
of
check.
like?
invest in a better wig. He had the
Yo,
money.
if y'all got my man got the stimulus check and got himself a wig. That's what he did. would you say Ronaldo?
I said, what about his reasoning? Like, if there's a terrorist that kidnaps your daughter and tries to kill her in a soccer stadium, my satellite would kill him in 5 seconds. This is a good thing. Like that, he was trying to defend the program, even though he was exposed as Hydra. He said it was still
Mm,
a good idea.
I think that the program is okay, but you can't give something like that
Yeah,
to human
Yeah.
beings. We're
yeah.
gonna kill each other.
yeah.
It's just too much power
Mm-hmm.
to have
Yeah,
that pointed at anybody's head.
shoot anybody at
They're
any time.
basically saying that Captain America is a weapon and ought to be used as a weapon. I mean, that's what they turned Bucky into.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And that like they're low key. It's like, okay, if we can't use you, if you don't want to work for us and be used by us, we got to kill you because you're just gonna interrupt our plans.
Mm,
yeah,
Right.
sounds about right.
Yeah, poor
or
Bucky. Okay,
brainwash
that's
you.
my thing with these movies. When you see these movies and you just watch Bucky's story, he just cannot get a break. This guy
Right.
Yeah.
cannot get a break.
Right?
He gets in Captain America, the first Avenger. He gets captured along with his soldiers.
Yeah,
So
his unit.
and in the middle of
Yep.
yeah,
Squad
704 something like that.
704 or something.
And so Steve Rogers goes in, saves him, but when he finds him, he's being operated on.
Yeah,
He's
Oh,
Right?
he gets
So
yeah.
they
operated
caught
on
him
when they
twice.
find him. Steve Rogers comes in, saves him, okay, and then on the train in the same movie, Captain America: First Avenger, he loses him because the whole side of the train was blown off and Bucky gets
Mm-hmm.
lost. Then they pick him up and
Mm,
operate on this guy again. Like
Mm.
this guy, I don't know. This guy just can't get a break.
also
The truck.
too, he was dancing with some
mm-mm.
girl. Remember when they went to that festival and
Mm-hmm.
Bucky was trying to link up Steve with a date? He had a date. That could have been his girlfriend.
He did have a date, but it's
Now
not.
she's dead.
He's not his best girl.
Now she's dead.
Yeah, he's not his best girl. That's why he
Yeah,
didn't dance.
that's what it did. I mean, he got kidnapped by evil supervillains. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
don't
that's
know if
just
there was.
crazy. Poor guy.
Yeah, I don't know if there was a specific reason that he got operated on. I think it was just like, oh, hey, here's a specimen. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
I think it just. I don't think there was a real reason. Like, oh, it
I
has
think
to
also like where they found him, he was half dead too.
It's a myth.
So
Yeah.
it's like, all right, he's gonna die anyways. Let's just get this done.
yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
I feel bad for Bucky. I do.
That's
Yeah.
He didn't even have like a real life.
Right. And then when he started to kind of try and he started to remember a few things after his first face-to-face encounter with Cap, it was just like they were just like wipe him
mm,
clean. Just get it out.
Yeah.
And I'm just
Yeah.
like, wow, so sad.
yeah.
Yeah, that guy cannot get a break. Anything else that we wanted to discuss? Any points, any moments in the movie? Because if not, we will begin our segment called A Little R&R. There's two things about this movie that stuck out to me as something that could be better. It is very difficult for a movie like this to have something go wrong. This is the near perfect movie for a Captain America movie. But the first thing that I would change is this movie just feels a little too long. There are times in this movie where you feel its length and you're pulled out of the movie. It's a small problem, but a problem nonetheless. I don't know if it's a matter of changing the scenes, I don't know if it's a matter of shortening some of the scenes that don't really carry the same weight, but it just feels a little too long. The other thing, my second thing that I would say about this movie is that there is a character that returns. And while there are some improvements, there are certain things about this character that still needs changing. To further explain and understand this, I'm just going to read off a few quotes that this character says. Oh, you guys going to the Smithsonian? I'm here to pick up a fossil.
Oh.
Hey, sailor. I'm sorry. Did I step on your moment? Black Widow, you are not funny. You are not funny. You are not funny. I think Fergie's right in saying that you need a desk job. That you need to create my PowerPoint for my next presentation.
Wow.
While the character is a little better in this movie, with the action and properly placed, and some of the dialogue is just a slightly bit better, some of it is still cringy, and I'm still trying to understand your place in this movie and this overall world. Even in these parts of this movie where you're trying to hook Cap up with somebody, and in the middle of all that, you're flirting with him. What are you trying to do something with this guy? What business do you have?
Yeah.
I will protect this man from you and any man from you because they don't need that craziness.
Yeah.
So my question that I'll leave my review with is, what are you doing in this movie? What are you doing? What is your role? What are you doing in this movie? But if I could complain about anything in this movie, it would be that very thing, and that is Black Widow once again.
Yeah, so this movie is amazing. It's truly a miracle because Black Widow is in it, and I gave this movie an A+ in my review. That is a miracle. Now, part of that miracle is because Black Widow's fight scenes are better than the fight scenes she had in Avengers, where she was shooting pea shooters at giant aliens and looking like a daggone 3-year-old who's playing make-believe with a blanket, thinking that she's a superhero. That's just pretty embarrassing. Kudos to Hawkeye for being a loyal friend, because if I had a friend that delusional, she would not be my friend anymore. Also, Black Widow, though, does fight much better, like an adult, in Captain America the Winter Soldier. The scenes are well edited, the choreography is sharp, and she only says a couple dumb lines while she's fighting. So in that sense, if you just ignore her while she's talking in dialogue scenes, Black Widow is very tolerable, because she proves herself as a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. So don't really listen to Rob, because Rob, he nitpicks too many things. This is the greatest Marvel movie up to this point on our podcast. And even Black Widow contributed positively to it, which is no small feat, because she's terrible. But also, this movie doesn't need to be shortened. It's a complex political plot. Every scene's important to explain that plot and how it affects Captain America in a deep way, and his friendship with Bucky. So really, Rob, you don't really have any material. Black Widow's at her best in this movie when she's fighting, and you can just make fun of her while she's talking. It's like unintentional comedy, like in Odin, when Odin scenes in Thor. So that's all I got. This movie is the jam.
I agree with you, man. You can kill the. I agree with you. This movie is the jam, but her. I don't think it's unintentional humor when she's trying to make jokes.
Yeah.
I think it's intentional, and she's just not funny. She's
But
not
bro, ain't
funny.
nobody gonna come to the person who wrote the script.
Like, it's like watching Steve Urkel. It's like Steve Urkel.
Someone else wrote that script,
Awkward.
bro. Again, let's
It's
write
Yes.
against the male
She's embarrassing
species.
herself. That's what she's doing. That's all she's doing.
And
Well,
whoever
no,
wrote
dude, because no. She's not. That's what she's doing while she's doing whatever she's trying to do. If that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
she's not trying to embarrass herself. But what I'm saying is
Making me think
the jokes and some of the dialogue is what keeps this movie at an A. This could be like an A plus
this
plus
is a
plus
Yeah.
plus
plus.
movie.
No,
This
it's
is
an A
no.
plus.
That's I'm saying for me. I'm saying for
They
me.
could have
For
given
you, this
her
is an A plus
better
movie. This is
jokes.
a perfect, if not near perfect movie. For
Yeah.
me, this is an A, and one of the reasons why it's an A, and it's weird to say this, but it's an A because of her jokes or
I
her
agree.
dialogue. It just
But what about
her dialogue.
writing?
I'm watching. Hold up. I'm watching this movie with Fergie, and there are things that she says, and I'm like, oh my gosh, why are you get out of the movie? Like why are you here? Like I don't like what is she doing in the movie that another character in place of her can't do?
Uh,
What if she's a good Loki? What if she's
no,
there just
no,
to annoy the
no,
crap
because
out of
No,
him?
no.
Loki's entertaining.
I
She's
don't think
the
that's what she's
opposite of
there.
That
entertaining.
she could be. What is he? Loki is the god of
Mm,
No,
mischief,
God of
and
no,
she's
annoyance.
the
no,
god of bad
because
jokes.
Loki has
If anybody has a bad
charisma
joke, we know who to blame.
and timing. She does have none of those things.
She got none of those
No
things.
timing, no charisma. She can fight, but
Yeah.
if I had to switch out her for Hawkeye, I'd do it in 5 seconds. I'd be like, "Yo, Hawkeye,
Yeah,
come through real
Hawkeye would
quick."
be better in this movie
Yeah, come through. He'd have
because
better
he's still a
chemistry.
Shield agent.
Yeah, he'd have
You could
way
use
better
him in this
chemistry.
movie.
Yeah,
But so that's my thing. What's my problem with her in this movie is okay. What part does she play? How does she contribute to this movie that positively influences this movie? And
her
I
fight
think if
scenes.
she can be
Her
replaced by
fight scenes
somebody
were good.
else,
Her fight scenes were good.
huh?
She had good fight scenes.
I know, but I'm saying that
The dialogue.
her
We know
dialogue,
the
her fight scenes
dialogue
are
is
great,
bad.
bro.
I'm trying to be positive because
I know you're trying to be positive, but I'm saying, okay, no. But that's not the point of the segment, is to be positive. The point of the segment is, no. Listen, yeah, she improved. But here's what's still annoying about her is not because she can or can't fight. It's her dialogue.
we
I hate when she
know.
talks.
Yo, preaching to the choir, man.
It's not the script.
No, bro,
That's
no,
script.
listen.
That's
That
she's
bikini
The
line
rewatching
Russo
is
it.
brothers did
awful. Steve even called her out on it. He was like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna miss bikini briefs." Like he was annoyed with her. Him of all people, Steve Rogers, the nicest guy in the MCU, he was annoyed with this lady. So we know the dialogue's bad.
right. So that gets that's my point. So if he was on this review, if he was on this podcast, he would agree with what I'm saying.
Yes, he would. He would say
So
the dialogue is terrible.
you agree then?
Nope, because he would say she's a reliable soldier who's got my back in combat.
Yeah, but so is
What has
Hawkeye
nothing to
can be
do with that,
reliable.
though?
That has nothing to do with it, bro. I'm just saying her dialogue, like anybody else in the Avengers,
It gets
take Hawkeye for example. Hold on,
fair.
hold on, bro. Hold on. You take Hawkeye, you put him in this movie, he fits. I don't know. You take Hill.
I
You
have a
take
question. Do y'all know that Asian comedian dude named Ken
Ken
or
Jeong?
whatever?
Ken Jeong, I think.
He's performed in Transformers
Was he in The
2
Hangover?
or 3.
I think it's Ken
Do you
Jeong.
guys remember him?
Yeah, I think it's Ken.
The Hangover?
Was he on what? If
Yep.
his name is Ken, then yes, that's him. What if
Oh,
he
no.
replaced her
yeah.
and he said those stupid things that she said? What if they thought that she, face-wise could run a joke like that and it'd be funny, but whereas the person that they picked is supposed to be a little bit more serious or have a different type of humor, but they gave her Ken type jokes.
Just, I think I think also just the way that they write women in all of these superhero things, like they're not meant to be funny. They're just meant to look good or to fight well, not to be anything other than that. And so when Black Widow comes on the screen and tries to be cute or try to be funny, it falls flat because she's just not that. Or they need to figure out a way to make her the funny character. You can't kind of weasel her into being funny.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let her fight.
Like if she's just not funny, don't try to make her funny. Like if she's gonna be in this movie, let her fight. Because if her fighting was great in this movie and some dialogue that works toward the plot is good, then they'll try to make her funny. You get this Asian guy who's from The Hangover. You get him in the movie. There's other things that are funny about this movie. I think. But it's not her. It's just not her.
Yeah.
And in fact, for me watching this, I'm like, yo, you're trying to be funny, and it's not
Maria
working.
Hill had a funny line when she saved them in the truck.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like Maria Hill can be a replacement of that. And the humor doesn't have to be like saying a joke. The joke can be within the dialogue between her and Steve Rogers, or her and Nick Fury. Or
I mean,
whoever.
when she freed them in the truck, she's like, "Oh man, that thing was squeezing my brain. Who's this guy?" Like, I chuckled.
So that's what I'm saying. So compare the two of them, right? Because she was in the movie, and I think she did her role well. She just didn't crack no jokes.
She just cracked one joke.
She did? Where?
She did. She cracked one joke. So when they were captured, and they were in a van, and there were two other soldiers. They had masks on and everything, and they were handcuffed or whatever. And while they were talking, one of the soldiers, or one of the army men, policemen, whatever, I forget what happened. The army man was about to hit them with an electric baton, and instead of hitting them, she turns and hits the other guy, takes off the helmet, and it's her. And then in that moment, she goes, "Who's this guy?" Looking at Falcon. Yeah. And it's not like a joke to make you like, man, I'm working on my abs today.
But that's the thing, though. It's funny. And they could have done that for Black Widow. They could have just made her do things that are funny versus say these lines that,
trying to be funny, because it's like, yo, she needs to try to be funny in this movie by telling jokes. But I feel like, she's not funny. I blame
the director or whomever. They should use their actors properly to what, they're good at. Yeah.
And I feel like they do. I just feel like it's tough to write for Black Widow to try to make a relatable character, because I think the purpose for Black Widow is to not know her backstory, because she's had so many different covers over the years. And so how do we make this character?
Y'all are all gonna what if more than you think?
I don't know. You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy though? This movie's gonna come out, and it's gonna be a really good movie, and we're gonna hate ourselves.
That's what I'm saying. She's probably cooler than you think.
Right now we don't, but I feel like it's because we don't know her story.
Her dialogue is worse in this movie than Iron Man 2. And that wasn't great either.
That's kind of true. That's kind of true. Although I feel like out of all the movies that she's been in, she's been more tolerable in this movie.
Wait, y'all don't like her in Iron Man 2?
I tolerated her. Because she was vibing. She was vibing with Pepper. She was vibing with Pepper. I said tolerated. Key word is tolerated. Letter grade is C minus in Iron Man 2.
Tolerated.
It goes lower from there. Because she was vibing with Pepper. She was vibing.
The legal team.
She was vibing with Pepper. They were clicking. Pepper was dragging her butt to mediocrity, from being terrible to mediocre. Thank you, Pepper, for doing that. I tried to do an Avengers and failed.
Yeah. I think she was fine in that movie. I didn't like her in this one.
I think also too, like, whenever there's more than two like lead women in these movies, it just falls apart. Like they just do not have good dialogue. Like I think they should let these women be funny, but it always just falls flat. So I think you either create a character that's funny, or what Darcy was supposed to be, and just tone it all the way down and let them be funny. But trying to force them to be funny just always falls flat. I don't know if they the mindset that women can't be funny for whatever reason, but it just falls flat.
It really does. I think they're trying to do men's humor for a woman's character,
for a woman,
and it just doesn't work.
Well, I'm glad that a man said it. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, no, I think so. Here's my thing. I think it's not just men's humor.
Yeah.
It's how men think women are funny.
Oh, I see.
Or you know what I mean? Like it's something. not exactly that, but I think it's how a man thinks woman is funny and it's not realistic until you
Yeah.
actually find a woman who's like genuinely hilarious and it's like, whoa, she's funnier than any guy that I know because my wife is hilarious. But I don't know. I think it's a man guessing how a woman should be funny.
What if they, instead of putting Ken from Hangover in it, they replaced her with Tiffany Haddish?
Oh no.
Nah, I don't
do
think
that.
Tiffany Haddish is funny.
So she couldn't tell silly jokes and people would laugh.
So the jokes about these Marvel movies, these jokes, the funnier the jokes.
Yeah.
So let me put it this way: the more situational the jokes are, the funnier they are. Here's
Right, I agree.
For example, it has nothing to do with the character, but her jokes are not situational.
Oh yeah.
For example, take Thor. When Thor and Coulson are going back and forth, he just literally just says a few words like "son of coal." Funny, like hilarious. He calls him son of coal. Hilarious, but that's situational. The situation is he's a fish out of water. That's how he understands Coulson's name, thinking that his father's name is Cole and he's son of coal.
Yeah,
Like it's hilarious because
that's how
in
it
his
is.
world,
Yeah,
he's not trying to be funny. That's the funniest part about that.
He's trying to be respectful.
Exactly. It's him trying to be respectful, but he has no idea. Another funny moment in Avengers when Coulson steps into the Avengers Tower, or in this case, it was Stark Tower, and he breached the security system. And Pepper goes, "Oh, hey, hey, Phil," and he goes, "What?
yeah.
Phil? His first name's Agent." Like it's situational. It's not like I'm trying to be funny. The joke doesn't take precedence, but it's in the moment where the joke
So
is
why
slipped
is it
in
that they don't
underneath the
do that with
situation.
her?
She's
They're just trying to make her comic relief.
with her. I think they're just trying to make her funny, and so she lands in a fight scene. So what happens is the villain or a bad guy or a henchman turns, and before she strikes a punch, she tries to make a joke, and it just does not work. She goes, "Hey, sailor!" Boom! It's not
I think
funny. It's just
the
not funny.
whole fossil joke could have been passable if she didn't even make the Smithsonian reference. If she just pulled up and just looked at Steve and was like,
Yeah.
"Hey, fossil, get in the car," like something like that. You just gotta make it
Something
shorter.
more natural.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
and that would have been passable.
Yeah. Yep. Hey, fossil, get in the car.
I actually thought that was
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah,
I
you
thought it
didn't
was
need
funny.
It was good. It was it's a funny joke. It's just
I'm here to
gotta
pick
get
up
a
the
little
fossil,
better.
even that-
and he know who he is.
No, I get it.
But
Like
that
if
was
it was
funny.
delivered better, it'd be funny.
Yeah, that's all. I think it's like it's a mixture of the script and her delivery. In combination, it's just a little bit like, yeah. I think they should have like read it over and saw if it really actually
So it's
fit
only gonna
well.
get
Instead
worse from here, guys. You know that.
Oh boy. Well, hey, we don't
Hey,
know that,
maybe
bro.
hanging
We
out
don't
with
know that. You
Falcon a
keep
lot.
going forward.
Yeah.
We don't know this. We haven't watched the movies yet.
Rob be hanging out with Falcon a lot. He's really optimistic, man.
We obviously
I
watch the
appreciate that.
movies,
Respect
but we're
it.
gonna try to watch these with fresh eyes.
All right.
Well,
Okay.
no,
All right.
look, I'm watching these movies with fresh
Fresh
eyes. That's the
eyes.
purpose of this
All
this
right.
project.
Yeah.
Trying to watch them with fresh eyes. Fresh eyes, bro. Fresh eyes. So with that being said, I don't know if
And when I watch her,
you
I
guys
wanna
had
be
anything else you
Daredevil. I
want to
wanna be
share on the
blind.
topic of Black Widow or whatever. I'm trying to, how should we close this? So maybe we could,
Question.
yes, that I was trying to figure out what went first. So your question, yes.
Okay. Yeah. So what is the number one trait for you to trust someone on a spy mission like this movie?
Mm.
If I know the person has heart, like this is a person who's about something, like I could trust them to, I think it's trust in what they're about on the inside. I would want a good person to be on my team.
Trust, like someone that you know for sure is on their side.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna go in the elevator and by the time I come out, they switch sides.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I think, I think for me, someone, I mean, if you're a spy, it's kind of challenging, but integrity, I guess. The way,
Mm,
yeah, the way that Cap has it,
That's
like, I
good.
think that, if I was in the movie, I would definitely trust him. Um, Not because he's like super righteousness and whatever, but it's just like even integrity in the sense of being like, because the definition for it too also is like the integrity of something, like how strong it holds, or like its
mm,
wholeness, and its
Yeah.
unity. So even with that, like he just has a a keen eye of seeing the whole thing and just understanding things as a whole. And so I don't know. I don't know if that made sense, but I think, yeah, just integrity in
it
both
does.
ways of his character, but also like just that wholeness that he has and wanting to even uphold that
Uh,
within like the world too. So thinking big
Hmm.
picture. So yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, kind of similar to what both of them said, but I think friendship, but also loyalty in that friendship. Because I think when you have friendship and you have history with someone, like they can look at you a certain way and you'll know what's on their mind. And so
Mm,
I think that's needed for any mission or any goal where, like, okay, I know like this pisses you off, so I'm not going to do it. And I know that you're really strong in this, so we're going to use your strength to do this to get our point across. So I think something like that would be helpful and what I would look for.
hmm. Yeah, that's a good one. I had an answer, and now hearing you guys share your answers, it's making me change mine. Um,
nah, bro. Let me hear
you
it.
want to? Well, I was going to start with this is what I originally had was honesty.
Hmm.
That was what I originally had. If we start off with full on honesty, then we can work together. And honesty can doesn't have to mean I know everything because we're both spies. Honesty can mean, hey, I can't share that information with you.
Hmm.
Honesty can be
Mm,
that. There's a level of respect there where it's like, okay, listen, we're about this mission. There's information you're asking me about. I cannot share that because I bet you if we're both spies, there's going to be information that I know, or whatever that I'm aware of that I know that I can't share with my partner. That was my first answer, but now
Yeah.
hearing you guys, I'm changing my answer.
Hmm.
I think friendship in history. Um, if there's history, if there's friendship, you already know the person. You don't have to worry about whether or not this person's honest. You don't have to worry about whether or not this person's going to be loyal. Like you guys have history, you guys know each other. So all of that stuff
yep.
is already tossed out the window. You don't have to waste mental energy figuring that out. You guys are now side by side on this mission together without question. So I would say friendship, um, friendship in history, but friendship first and foremost. I think would be the quality I look for.
I think, yeah, I think for me, I'd say commitment. You have to have an unyielding commitment to a central idea. And I think the problem with the movie is when you compromise, that means you don't have a commitment to a central idea. Your ideas are constantly shifting and changing. So for me, it's like I have to know that you're gonna die for this idea. Whether it's our friendship, whether it's truth or justice, whatever idea, you have to be willing to die for it if we're gonna go on this mission together.
Well, great. Well, guys, we shared a lot about this movie. It's almost 2 hours in, an hour and 50 minutes specifically. Before we close, I wanted to kind of go around and talk about where does this movie fall with all the other movies we watched. Where would you rate this movie from best to worst with the movies we've watched so far? Where would you rate this?
Ratings.
Rating time. Where does this movie fall? I'll go first. Um, I will go first, guys. Okay. Let's see. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. This is the ninth
This is
movie. 9 movies. Okay. Coming in at number one is Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
yeah. Yeet,
It's coming in at
yeet.
number one.
Wow.
Yep. Coming in at number one. Number two, Avengers. Number 3, Iron Man 1. Number 4, Thor, the first Thor movie. Number 5, Captain America, the first Avenger. Number 6, Iron Man 2. Number 7, Hulk, the Incredible Hulk. Number 8, Thor, the Dark World. And last, and where it belongs, Iron Man
Wow.
3.
Wow. Wow.
Feelings. Cause of what I got with tattoos.
So that's my list. That's my list.
Wait, who's next?
I'll go. Cause y'all in your feelings about some why I got with tattoos.
Let's see what's about to happen right here.
Alright, so number 1 on my list,
Armin.
Rinaldi's list, is Captain America Winter Soldier. Number 2 is Avengers. Number 3 is Iron Man 3. Because I'm not distracted. Iron Man 1 is number 4.
I
Get
cannot
outta
wait
here.
to see what movie. I cannot wait to see what movie moves that from its place. I cannot wait to see what
It
movie
already
moves
moved down one slot because of Cap 2. So
It needs to go further down though.
y'all,
No, further
Y'all-
down,
y'all-
bro.
y'all
Like
obsessed-
separated from Avengers.
y'all
Is what I'm
obsessed
saying.
with this
Okay, let him
white
finish
man
and
with
then we'll
tattoos.
attack.
Anyway,
Yeah. Okay.
Racist.
This is gonna attack Iron Man 3 segment.
all right. So I'm gonna start over because y'all in
Yeah.
your feelings.
Start over,
Anyway,
Ronaldo.
Cap, Winter Soldier is number 1. Avengers is number 2. Iron Man 3 is number 3. Iron Man 1 is number 4. Cap, the first Avenger is number 5. Thor is number 6. Hulk is 7. Iron Man 2 is number 8, where it belongs. And dead last is Thor the Dark World.
But seriously, Iron Man 3 is that high up there, huh?
Mm.
I cannot wait
Alright,
to
let's
see
move
what
on.
movie
We're moving
separates
on.
it from Avengers. It's because
We're
those
moving
movies,
on.
whatever. Anyways,
All right. Well, I will go. So, yes. Number 1 spot, we already know what time it is. It's the Winter Soldier. Then we have
Yes.
Avengers. 3rd place, Iron Man. 4th, Thor 1. Number 5, Iron Man 2. Followed by
Sorry.
Captain America 1.
The look Elise gave you. Let her read her
Sorry.
list.
I have some allergies to certain
All
things.
right, starting war. Okay. Well, anyways, where was I? Number 6, Captain America 1. Then we have 7, Iron Man 3. Number 8, Thor 2. And still last for me is Incredible Hulk.
We got different last place ones.
Incredibly
That's cool.
It's stayed there. Ever
Nice.
since we first
Oh.
reviewed it, it stayed in last place. I just can't. Yeah.
It moved up for me because it got worse after that. Anyway.
Yeah. My list is very similar to Rob and Elise for the first like 3 or 4. So number 1, Captain America, excellent. 2, Avengers. 3, Iron Man 1. 4, Thor 1. 5, Iron Man 2. 6,
Shade.
Thor 2. 7, Hulk. Yeah. 8, Captain America. 9, Iron Man 3, where it belongs.
It
How is Thor
belongs. Where it
2
belongs,
better
bro.
than Iron Man 3?
Bro.
I can't even finish that sentence
movie
without
is
laughing.
unwatchable.
Because it's watchable. It's at
I
least
can't
a
even see
little
what's
bit
going on.
watchable.
It's
It's
the
an
dark
okay
world.
movie.
It's
It's a
dark
safe
world. I can't
movie.
see.
I'd rather
I
see
can't
nothing.
even see the characters.
I'd rather see
It's so
nothing.
dark.
Hold up. I'd rather see nothing than to see Iron
I'm
Man
not
3.
gonna watch a Christmas movie in the middle of the normal movie watching time. Like it needs to be in a corner somewhere.
It needs, bro. It started its own universe. It started its own universe of
Oh
bad
man,
movies.
y'all making me laugh.
I'd rather watch a dark movie or nothing
Yes.
than watch Iron Man 3.
100%. Never again.
All right, Shawnette, last but not least.
All right. So coming in at number 1, I actually put Avengers because it made me laugh the most. And then after Avengers, I have the Winter Soldier. Then I have the first Captain America. Then I have Thor, Thor number 2. And then I have Iron Man number 1. And then I have Thor number 1. All these numbers confusing me. Then I have Iron Man number 2, Iron Man number 3.
Yo,
And then
that Iron Man 3 stays
Respectable.
at a very low position, man.
I respect that
Oh
one.
man, we got to do a podcast. We got to do an episode specifically on Iron Man 3.
We already
Just
did
like
that.
like
We already
why?
did it.
I know we did, but we got to talk about like why.
We already did it.
I know we did, bro. But we didn't talk about this specific thing even
No.
more. We got to talk
Let's
about
move on.
why is
The
it number.
rankings.
You guys,
Oh,
you
man.
guys.
I just, you know what? I'm just very interested. No,
Yeah.
we're not, bro.
You
We
saw
are
a white
thinking
man with
as
tattoos,
clear
you
as
lost your
day.
minds. You'd rather
Nope,
watch.
that's
You'd
not
rather
even it,
watch
bro. I
a
don't even know what
movie
you're
that's
talking about.
dark you could barely see. Another movie that's basically a commercial for the Avengers. It's not even an actual Iron Man movie. It's a daggone commercial for Avengers.
Bro, Iron Man, I promise you, is trash.
Iron Man 3 does not belong in this
You
universe.
rather
It really
watch
does not.
I don't
some
know why.
nonsense.
Chris,
Even the directors of all the Marvel movies after this wants to forget about this movie. That's how bad this
It's
movie
gonna
was.
come up. There's some themes in Iron Man 3 that will come up.
No, it comes up because it's considered what is it? Canon.
No,
it's considered canon.
No, we'll
That's
get
the
to
only
it.
reason why
We'll
it
get
comes
to
up
it, bro.
again.
We'll get to
But
it.
we're not talking about what comes
We'll-
up again.
we'll
Right
get
now,
to
it does not
We'll
belong.
get to it. I'll be proven right.
Oh,
There's
man.
story.
You're gonna be like, see, you did
There's
not waste
character
2 hours
development.
of your
There's
time
character
because it was
development.
one small little thing.
No,
that this
not
guy
little
said.
thing. Actual character development. Tony got PTSD. He's got actual PTSD.
Let us know. Okay, those are
When
please.
I'm curious though, of our listeners, if you agree with Ronaldo, please let us know. I'm very, very interested.
Let us know, those of us listening to this podcast. Let us know if you agree with Ronaldo's list. Let me ask you this. How soon does this come up?
our next episode, Avengers: Age of Ultron.
So we're gonna deal with it pretty soon. So I can't wait to talk about this. But outside of all that, you heard our ranking. If those of you who are listening, what would you rank, or where would you rank Captain America: The Winter Soldier? And would you place it at top at number 1? Would you place it at number 3, or is it just okay? What did you think of our review? What did you think of Captain America: The Winter Soldier? Or is there a movie that seems to be better than this so far? Thank you guys for being a part of this and listening to our back and forth and our dialogue, the good, the bad, the disagreements, the agreements. What's the next movie that we're going to review next time we get together?
We got Guardians.
Guardians.
In the next episode, we're going to come together and we will review Guardians of the Galaxy. So tune in for that. It'll be fun. Very original cast, very original plot and everything. Thank you guys. This is Marvelous Friends. Catch you guys later. Have a good one.